it out. I'm not making a big deal out of it. I'm just like counting who sees it. I hate when people are like, an observational study is like if you want to find out if this arthritis medicine makes you not drop things as much. That's an observational study. It is definitely not. I don't think they're going to follow that person around 24/7, like hiding around corners with like a little tally being like, did he just drop his pen? Oh, got it. You know, like, no, you're just going to go up to the person and say, are you dropping things? That's a survey is what that is as part of an experiment. So a lot of times, a lot of these things are linked where you could have a survey as part of an experiment, etc. Okay, 6 ways to select a sample. There are 6 different ways. We're going to write an example next to each one. I'm also going to tell you what they are so you can write more than I'm writing if you want to. A simple random sample is give everybody a number, randomly pick the number. It's impossible for human beings to be truly random, but you do your best. This would be like me, Nussbaum selects people for calculators. Nussbaum selects people with a calculator. Supposedly, equally, everybody has an equal opportunity to be chosen, but we know that calculators are made by humans and human beings can't be random, so it's really just a algorithm that is approximating randomness. But truly, if we ran the computer program with you 5 numbers in there 1,000,000 times, there would be one of you that shows up more than the others. And not because of random chance, because that can happen with random chance too, but because truly the program is picking one number more than the others. Okay. Stratified is when you separate people by, or separate your sample by, how can I put this? It's strata. A defining characteristic. So you separate by a characteristic and then equally select from the 2 groups. So I could say I want boys and girls in my study. I want 10 boys and I want 10 girls. So first thing I do is I separate them into boys and girls, and then I randomly pick 10 boys and 10 girls. Or I could say I want 10 people from the poor part of town and I want 10 people from the rich part of town. And I'm going to first separate them into the poor part of town and the rich part of town, then select 10. It's stratified. First that's called strata. So something that separates you guys or makes you different that I care about. Cluster sampling is based on location. You split it into grids, and you select all of one grid. This would be like if I just asked, if I wanted an opinion of the student body and I just asked everybody in Steele's room. Why would that be a bad choice? To only ask people in Steele's room. You only get their opinion. And who does Steele teach? Biology, for example. Well, that means I would only get the 10th grade opinion. Do you see what I mean? So if I wanted more of a stratified opinion, I'd probably say, look, I'm going to get 5 freshmen, 5 sophomores, 5 juniors, 5 seniors. A good time to use a cluster sample is like, suppose that like I've got a piece of forest where I'm looking to see like how many, whatever, microbes are in each section. I'm not going to look at every bit of dirt underneath the microscope. Instead, I'm going to make it into grids. I'm going to take some of this, some of this, some of this from different places and then look at them. That's a cluster. Systematic, everybody gets a number and then you pick like every 5th, every 10th, every 15th, every nth person is selected. They do this a lot with like, if they're checking for like drunk driving, they'll pull over every 30th person they see or something. Convenience is a bad technique. This is just doing what's easy. Asking your friends to be in your study because you know them and you're not embarrassed to ask them a question. Why is it a problem just to ask your friends about something?
Just don't know what you want to use.
Partially, yes.
Your friends are people who are probably pretty similar to you, so all have very samey answers.
Right. For example, let's suppose that being conservative is really important to you, like really important to you. One of the most important things in your world. You think that Trump is the best person ever. You absolutely have like Trump everything, Trump hat, everything, right? Are you likely to be friends with somebody who is super liberal? Unlikely. If that's really important to you. There are lots of people who are conservative who have lots of liberal friends and vice versa. But if it is really, really important to you, your best friend probably is of the same political opinion that you are. Which means, especially if you ask something politically, everyone is going to say the same thing because they're all your friends. Just too many like-minded people. If I said, how much do you care about your math homework? And I only asked the people in this classroom because it was easy for me. I bet you I'd get a pretty high rating on how much you care about your math homework compared to if I asked all of my classes that, or better yet, all of the school that, right? And found out from them. Census is when you ask everybody. So this isn't really a sample. Sometimes it's appropriate to do a census, most of the time it's not. Also, another word that they have for census is just counting how many people there are. So when they say they're doing a census, that means that every 10 years they look at all of our tax records, and then also they send out things in the mail to count up how many people. You know, like the sign out in front of Lewiston with the numbers, how many people are in Lewiston, that changes once every 10 years when they do a census. Okay. All right. You try. Pick a example 1 and example 2. Go ahead and try to figure out which kind of sample that is.
Do we need a calculator?
Oh, you mean for the next thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Census kind of has two meanings here, where it's a technique that's asking everybody, and then if you use it as like a not as a verb but as a noun, usually a census is counting people up. Okay, I haven't given you enough prizes today, so let's do prizes. Who wants to answer number 1? Justin.
Is it a cluster?
Yes. Asking an entire group of people, that would be cluster. You want to do example 2, Natalie?
Systematic.
That's systematic.
Squid.
Nice. All right, random sampling using a calculator. It is called random integer. All right, let's make directions. Turn your calculator on, hit the math button as the first one. And then you go over to probability. And then you select the 5th one down, which is random integers. The 5th one for you too?
Yeah.
5th one, Noah?
Sorry, I forgot. Except after that, it's completely different.
Oh,